Okay. Record video time again. It is the 30th of December 2025. So that is Merry Christmas to you all and a Happy New Year. Tomorrow night being New Year's Eve. And I've just been to the record shop again. So my birthday is a week before Christmas, and I got a spectacular birthday present which I'm going to show you a piece of, which we'll get to. Get rid of this chewing gum. So there's been a couple of visits to Penny Lane. From my last video, I showed you some things that I picked up from the Penny Lane's cheaper bins, but I picked up, hopefully I haven't shown all of these ones in the video, but I went back and did a second visit and picked up one that I particularly wanted, and I might have picked up these other two, I don't know, I'll have to explain it through. Anyway, so I picked that up, and then of course my wife got me this fantastic box set for my birthday, which is coming up in a minute, and also I got some vouchers for Christmas. Been a bit busy around the garden, so I haven't managed to get in, but it's a miserable wet day here today. It's actually a working day between the stats, but I had to work yesterday and I actually have to work tomorrow. I've got some call outs to go and sort out. Anyway, so just quickly playing in the background is the Cake Kitchen. I think this is their very first LP from back in the 90s. This is a reissue on Dias Records. 1991, 89. Hang on. Originally released on a four-track song vinyl EP. Originally Flying Nun 1989 EP. This is an extended version. This is really good. This is Graham Jeffries from Nocturnal Projections and This Kind of Punishment. I did show this in my last video. Right. So from the cheap bins at Penny Lane, I picked up these two compilations. And I'm pretty sure I haven't shown these. So this is Captured Tracks Volume 1, CT 10 Volume 1 from 2018. Now, forgive me if I've shown these in my last video. 14 tracks of US indie, stuff. Now, the reason I jumped on the Captured Tracks was because Captured Tracks were in partnership with Flying Nun back a few years back and did a shitload of reissues. And so, yeah, that was one that put me on these, but they're not, none of those tracks are on these. I'm pretty sure I said these, I showed these in my last bloody video, so sorry about this. That being said, there's a few tracks on here that are pretty good. Now, there was one track in particular that really stood out for me. And I think it was a band called Wet Dog. And yeah, the Wet Dog, they got a song called Lower Leg. And wow, that was an incredible post-punky sort of 80s vibe to it. And I was so impressed with that song. I had a look on their record, the vinyl. You can pick up the album that came off for dirt cheap in America from Discogs. But, $60 fucking to get it here via the mail. So, yeah, Anyway. Also from that, the reason I went back and picked something up from those bins was that I picked this up. I saw it there the week or so before. So, Kill Rock Stars 2025 KRS 8114 LP. This is Sarah Mary Chadwick, Take Me Out to a Bar, What Am I, Gatsby. Limited to 500 copies. This is her 10th studio LP. Violet coloured vinyl. Oh yes, so it's on a coloured vinyl. Now this is not her latest LP, I believe it's her second to latest LP, although it did come out this year. Now, by the way, as of tomorrow, at the end of tomorrow, we are 1/4 through the 21st century. Unbelievable. 1/4 through the century already. Yeah, so Sarah, I've spoken, and I've showed a lot of her records in the past, and I've spoken a bit about her and her state of mind on her music, because she's got it. She wears it on her sleeve. She really puts it out there, and many of her amazingly good LPs have been devastatingly dark and melancholy and not depressing, perhaps, but she got married, and I think life's looking up. She stopped drinking and things like that. So things are looking up for her, and I'm wondering now, how's that going to affect her music? So, because I mean, a lot of music comes from dark places in people's psyche and the events of their lives. A lot of amazingly good music comes from people suffering, which is a shame, but it's just the way of the world. Turns out that this record is really, really melancholy and sounds really gut-wrenching, but I understand on it, and I haven't read the lyrics, and I don't think it's actually got a lyric sheet with it at this time, but from what I've read online, the lyrics are a bit more positive. I haven't focused on the lyrics, but the actual music still is gut-wrenchingly melancholic and doomy sounding as what her other stuff was. For Christmas Day, my wife gave me this, which she picked up when she bought those vouchers. Classic Blue Note series, Grant Green's Visions. So yeah, as I say, I've shown before, I picked these up. This was from 1971, original release. And it was actually in the second-hand bins, although it was still sealed. So I had a pretty good price. I had a better price on it. Oh, that's right. So yeah, also from the cheap bins, I picked up Belly, their second LP, King. This is a reissue from last year. Yeah. On green vinyl. I don't know when this was released. Anyway, so I'd never heard this LP. I was familiar with Belly, of course, from back in the day with the couple of songs that they had out off the first LP, which were pretty popular and turned up on compilations and things like that, but I'd never actually owned the LP. This LP, I believe, didn't get as much as a reception as that first one. I've only listened to it once. It sounds okay, but I've got a bit to get to grips with. And the last one out of those cheap bins, Nina Natasha. Again, forgive me if I showed these in the last video, but I don't think I did. This is a 2022 LP from Nina. I was familiar with her vaguely from some uncuts. So like I say, Penny Lane have got like about a dozen, they've probably got about 20 bins of really cheap vinyl, which is all stock that's not been able to sell, so you know how it goes. I've been through the bins a couple of times. There's still some stuff in there that might interest me, and most of it I had no idea what it was. And finally, for Christmas as well, I got this. Now I showed in a recent video, I think, recent Ryan Adams LP, and I talked about the gig that I went to see Ryan, and my wife gave me a record. She went to Australia in November. She bought some Ryan, or a couple of Ryan Adams. I gave her a list of Ryan Adams recent releases because I'm way behind, and she picked one up and gave it to me, and then she had another one that was on back order which turned up. And she's given me that for Christmas. So she's given me 2 records for Christmas plus a whole bunch of vouchers for Penny Lane, which we'll get to in a minute. So this is Adam's Devolver LP from earlier this year. And I've only listened to it once last night. Actually, I finally got around to playing it last night. His latest stuff, is not, to be honest, it hasn't got a patch on his last stuff. Plus his state of mind at the moment maybe is... But it's pretty cool. I'll give it a few listens and I'll get onto it. Now, today at Penny Lane, I've been watching James Buttery's video of the Saints that he posted just recently, and I was having a look, and they had some of those Saints records there, but they were really pricey. But I was tempted, and then I found some other records which I just couldn't leave behind, and so when I can find it, where the hell's it gone? And somehow I've misplaced it. No, I haven't. There it is, right at the very bottom of the stack. Right, first of today's finds, brilliant finds, is, oh god, this is the album Slit by the Slits called Cut, and I don't really want to show you the front cover because it might get my video banned, but I'm sure most of you know the front cover of this. This is an original New Zealand pressing. Sounds really good. I mean, I've known about this album for decades, and I've heard a couple of tracks off it, but I've never actually owned a copy. This is the first time. I've been meaning to pick one up. It is in those uncut 500 LPs of the 70s. This is 79? Yeah. That is in the top 10 or top 20 or whatever. Anyway, so a classic album. And so I grabbed that after I grabbed these other ones which I saw, which I just could not leave in the bins. They were a wee bit pricey second hand, but you don't see them around very often, and Gary gave me a pretty good discount. So Dirt, never mind Dirt, here's the bollocks. This is on Crass Records from 1982, I believe. Yes, 1982. Now, I used to have a copy of this back in the day, many years ago. I remember picking it up because I was buying a lot of stuff from Crass and Crass Records and the Anarcho Punk stuff, and more of that in a minute. So really, really excited and really pleased to have a copy of that again in my collection. And then I was really excited to find this, and I'd never heard this before, but I knew the band, Rudimentary Peni, Cacophony, their second LP, original UK press from 1988, made in France on Outer Himalayan Records. This is their second LP. Their first LP came out a little bit earlier, about 4 or 5 years earlier, so they weren't really prolific. And I believe this band was still around in the 2000s at some stage. I do remember hearing an EP of theirs, which was quite recent, a few years ago, which I listened to online and was really quite cool. They were still pretty good. So yeah, I was really excited to find this. Not cheap. These do not turn up very often. Originals going for fairly big money, but I didn't realise, I recognised the cover of this, and I was thinking it was something else, and then when I got it home, and I've been meaning to get this for ages, and this is Rudimentary Peni's first LP, called Death Church, isn't it? Is that what it's called? And I used to have this was the one I had back in the day. God, imagine, it's probably my original copy for all I know. Corpus Christi. God, what is this album called? I think it's called Death Church. Anyway, this is the original UK pressing. It folds out like a lot of those Crass records out into a gatefold and into a big poster with this really quite detailed artwork and quite interesting artwork. Yeah, really good. I love this album. This is so good. And I'd looked at it, and it is called Death Church. That's the bloody name of it. God's sake, my memory. When I saw this in the shelves, I mean, it had a big price on it. And I was thinking it was another LP, an Anarcho Punk LP that I had. For some reason, I don't know why, I thought that the cover was slightly different. But anyway, when I got it home, I pulled out the cover and I went to put it on my Discogs. I was like, oh, fuck me, it's the Rudimentary Peni's first LP, which I've been meaning to get for a long time. My hands on again, because it's a really cool LP. So their first 2 LPs. So what a great find at Penny Lane today. And Penny Lane were absolutely bursting at the seams with new records. They've been putting heaps and heaps and heaps of records out, and they've got such a amount of really good stuff. Their New Zealand bins are absolutely chocker with some really good stuff. A lot of it I've already got, a lot of it I haven't, but it is pricey. I was hoping to catch up of a copy of the Great Unwashes singles 12 inch, but it wasn't there. Anyway, finally, oh my god, this. So this is the Beatles stereo box, the vinyl box set released in 2012. Now this is the vinyl version of the original. They did the stereo version and the mono version on CDs. We're around about 2009, and according to the notes in this, I think they sold 17 million copies of that CD box set. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, I know it's the Beatles, but even so, in 2009. So 3 years later, this came out on vinyl, and I remember reading about it in the uncut when it came out, and I'm not sure whether I was reading about this or the CD version, but I remember them saying that they took the set round. They would, was it the mono or the stereo set at the time? I can't remember. They took it round to have a listen to it and assist on a really high-end Macintosh system, apparently, because they wanted to get a feel for how good a quality it was. So I remember reading about that back in the day. Of course, I wasn't collecting vinyl again back then. I didn't have a turntable, but soon after I got one, and then it's like, wow, yeah, I've collected a few original Beatles vinyl copies, New Zealand pressings over the last sort of 10 years, but I haven't got all their stuff. But of course, this box set covers their entire discography, apart from the BBC ones and the anthology ones, which I see the anthology box set is available at Penny Lane, all 12 records, 4 volumes, 12 records, 3 each, 3 volumes, something. Anyway, I saw this at Penny Lane and on the shelf a couple of months ago, and I got the guy down to get it down. I had a look at it, and the vinyls are all in massively mint condition. I wonder if it ever been fucking played. They wanted $850 for it, which is actually a good price because you can't get it for less than about 1,000 New Zealand dollars off Discogs, and that's not including getting it sent here. And a box set of that weight, getting sent from England or the States or wherever, would just be astronomical. So you're probably looking at $1,500. A couple of weeks later, I said to Gary, I was having a look at that box set. He said, yeah, you want it? I said, well, I'd love it. I wouldn't mind it. He said, well, I'll do a deal on it. And he told me how much he'd deal me a deal for. And I said, well, unfortunately, I just don't have that amount of money to spend on a box set right now. So I said to him, well, look, I'll, maybe when I get my copper sent to, I take my scrap copper in on that, I can get a copy of it after that. But anyway, I saw Gary at a gig a couple of weeks or so later. Oh, is that record still on the box set? Yeah, on the shelf? Yeah, still there. And then about a week later, I went in and it was gone. And he said, I wasn't here yesterday, but apparently when I came back, it had gone and it had been sold. That's fine. I said, that's cool. Oh, well, it is what it is. Anyway, my birthday, my wife says, do you want me to give you a birthday present? I'm still lying in bed having a bit of a lie-in for my birthday morning. And she walks in with this. I had told her about it. I had put the seed in her mind, but I said to her, she said, do you want me to get it? I said, no, that's way too much money to spend on a birthday present. Well, aren't I fucking spoiled bastard, eh? So that's really cool. So, yeah, I've got to clean those, but I've been through all the vinyl, and there's they're all in beautiful and stunning condition. They were remastered from the digital files they use for the CDs, so it's not all analog. So some people will bitch and moan about that, but they do sound absolutely stunning and really cool, and I'm really enjoying them. And so I now have the entire Beatles catalogue on vinyl finally. So great. And I'm a big fan of their later stuff from Revolver onwards are all the best stuff obviously for me. Although the early albums are all really good, and there's some really great tracks on them, but wow. So it's been a great year for box sets. I think I've shown the David Bowie latest box set in a couple of videos ago, and then earlier in the year I picked up that Ryan Adams Live After Death box set, which I never thought I'd own. So 2 box sets, this one and that one, are 2 that I never thought I'd have in my collection, but I do. So I shall stop prattling. The record is finished, and I've been keeping you bored for 20 minutes. So have a happy new year, and we'll see you some stage in the new year. Thank you. Bye.